Yeah, trying to be discreet with the camera, but also it might be good to have it out because people are less likely to be aggressive. Oh, no, that would touch it. Still figuring this stuff out. Can you believe it? Still figuring out how to record this. Yeah, if I put it in a pocket, the button will accidentally touch. But what if, how far can I go? If it's behind the sign, okay, that's pretty good. And then I hold it like this. Whoops. Hold it like this. Peekaboo, camera's popping out. Okay, that's pretty good. That's much better. It's clean, it's comfortable. Just gotta make sure I don't slip past here. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Just a guy walking around with a sign, recording. Not bad. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, easy peasy. Figured it out. Yep. I'm punched in for my shift. It's an easy, quick shift. It's not emotionally, physically, or mentally demanding. Just working for the animals. Working for individuals from all species. They gotta hate me now. It's been a whole week. Start to recognize a person or two, and they just hate it. Sooner or later, they hear it so many times that they cannot ignore it. Don't kill innocent little animals. You silly geese. You silly, silly geese. You're all silly. You're all silly. Stand in my little spot. Stand in my little spot. That's a good spot. I think it would be right here. I think this would be a good spot. Keep clear. I'm such a rebel. No, I'll be good. I'll keep it clear. All right. Well, I don't like it that I can't go back without slipping. And there's a little thingy. Where to stand? Where to stand? Not standing over that because my phone will fall through the cracks. I think here would be good. Here is just fine, I think. Maybe. People can walk from behind me, towards me, beside me. Yeah, I don't know. Good afternoon, everybody. Today we're talking about the world's forgotten victims. Non-human individuals, the animals. which we all are, the world's oldest and strongest addiction, meat. I'll challenge your belief systems today, so certain parts of the protest will be intense. Let me start with a quick disclaimer. I'm not here to be your enemy. I'm not trying to take you away from your religion. No religion mandates meat eating. The golden rule states, do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. Non-human individuals qualify as others. Thou shalt not kill, the four most important yet most ignored words in all religious teachings. There's not an asterisk next to that commandment saying, thou shalt not kill unless you walk on all fours, have horns, feather, fur, beaks, or gills. You can keep your friends, your politics, and your patriotism when you go vegan. Still watch your favorite TV shows, listen to your favorite music, even if it's Ted Nugent. I want to define a word that may be new to some people right now. It's V-E-G-A-N. Vegans, like vegetarians, do not consume the meat of any land or marine animals. Vegans, however, unlike vegetarians, also refrain from cheese, yogurt, milk, eggs, honey, or any animal products whatsoever. You don't wear animal skins, fur, leather, wool, silk, or down. Now I want to let y'all know that I was not raised vegan. I ate meat, cheese, milk, and eggs for around 25 years, just like everybody else. Used to wear leather shoes, belts, and jackets. In fact, 25 years ago, I even owned a fur coat. Needless to say, I understand your lifestyle. It used to be mine. For people involved in politics, I'm not a Democrat, an anarchist, Republican, socialist, or fascist. I'm an activist. Root word is active. Banned from 5 countries so far, arrested 13 times for random acts of kindness and compassion on behalf of my animal brothers and sisters. I'm actually reciting Gary Yourofsky's The Best Speech You'll Ever Hear. If you want to check this stuff out, go on adaptt.org, adapt.org. Today I would love to give you a chance to actually do something and truly get involved. Because I understand a lot of people want to get involved, really I do. But putting a coexist bumper sticker on your car, wearing a What Would Jesus Do bracelet or a Peace and Love and Sunshine t-shirt, it's not getting involved. I understand we're all on a journey in life. We all have different likes and dislikes, nationalities and religions too. There's one thing we need to have in common with each other, and that's peace. Genuine compassion and genuine peace towards our planetary companions. Contrary to political and religious dogma, individuals from other species do not belong to us. They're not property, they're not commodities. They should not be turned into a fur trim on a jacket. They are sentient, kind, sweet individuals with their own purpose and value. I'll be speaking for around 65, maybe 70 minutes, then we'll do a Q&A afterwards. But in the meantime, I have some rhetorical questions for you. Is slavery owner, victim, profit, domination, exclusive to the human race? Have blacks, Jews, women, and children been the only victims of these atrocities? Have not cows been enslaved? What about pigs, chickens, sheep? If they are not enslaved, what are they? Free? Can slavery have a victim that is neither human animal nor non-human animal? Have not the forests, the oceans, the earth itself not become victims of ownership too? What about a slaughterhouse? A house of slaughter, a literal kill house. Think there's such a thing as humane slaughter? In fact, what is your definition of the word humane? Besides psychological abuse, torture, dismemberment, and murder, what else do you think happens to your victims inside of a slaughterhouse? Think they all get belly rubs and tushy slaps? And if you think there's such a thing as humane slaughter, I'm curious, is there such a thing as humane rape? Humane child molestation? Humane slavery? Is there a humane way to Holocaust a family? In fact, what is your definition of a Holocaust? Is it a massacre of human beings or a massacre of innocent beings? I thought animal products were innocent, which brings us to the biggest Holocaust genocide massacre of all. Every year, without mercy, we murder 100 billion land animals and 3 trillion marine animals. In fact, 96% of all biomass on this planet is made up of the individuals that we eat, and only 4% is wildlife. Now, I'm pretty sure we can all agree on one thing right now, and it would be that hatred in its purest form is a learned behavior. Racism, sexism, heterosexism, anti-Semitism, misogyny, transphobia. These are all learned behaviors. When kids are 2, 3, 4 years old playing on the playground, they could not care less about the color of their friend's skin or their religious background. So there's no doubt that hatred in its purest form is learned. So speciesism, just like racism or sexism, is no different. It's purely arbitrary discrimination. I want to define speciesism as an unethical, unprincipled point of view that the human species has every right to enslave, exploit, oppress, and murder another species because we believe that our species is so more superior. We're so more special than all the other ones. Humans are the only ones that count. We're the only ones that matter. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that line of thinking, that thought process, is the basis of all forms of discrimination. One group thinking and saying they're more special than everybody else, then we proceed to exploit them, oppress them, deny them the right to be free. We treat them like property, they enslave them in many cases, and in many other cases, they murder them without penalty. Understand something essential about discrimination. It is never okay to pick and choose which forms of discrimination to say are okay, like speciesism, which ones to say are not okay, like racism. Discrimination is evil on its foundation, or it's not. You cannot have this both ways, folks. It does not work like that. What I'm asking you to do is use some empathy right now. What I mean by empathy is place yourselves in the position of your victims. Start to view this issue from the non-human individual's point of view, from the animal's point of view, your victim's point of view. Because when you examine any form of injustice, whether humans are the victims or non-human individuals are the victims, always remember the victim's point of view. When you're not the victim, it's pretty easy to rationalize and excuse cruelty, inequality, injustice, slavery, and even murder. But when you're the victim, things look a lot differently from that angle. I want to ask you to watch something I'm not endorsed by. It's just a good resource. YouTube, Gary is Scary. WatchDomain.com. Gary Yourofsky is the best speech you'll ever hear. If you choose to eat meat, cheese, milk, eggs, and honey, at the very least, you are obligated to see the pain and the suffering that you are causing. But if you do feel the need to close your eyes or turn away during WatchDomain.com, you might want to ask yourself a question. If slaughterhouse footage, animal agriculture, is not good enough for my eyes, why is it good enough for my stomach? You ever wonder why McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, and Wendy's never show you those images in their TV ads? But you will never see actual reality, ever. You can look through that glass in A&W and see that cow sitting on the beautiful grassy field.
Yeah, bye.
But 99% of all beef that we consume are in factory farms. They never see the sunlight. They never taste fresh water. They literally stand in their own poo all day. Right here in Vancouver, you can check out the XS04 farm case where pigs were found cannibalizing themselves and drinking urine from neglect. This is how slaves are treated. This is across the board. This is legal standard industry practice. Right now, in this very moment, on our highways, there are no less than 5,000 concentration camp trucks. I've counted every single one of them for you. Inside these trucks are living, terrified, innocent individuals, cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys, sheep, lamb. These trucks are being driven to concentration camp slaughterhouses There's nothing more sad than somebody laughing at somebody else's misfortune. I understand it's a natural human reaction towards something uncomfortable, but animal rights need to be taken seriously because it's completely insane to live in a world where we treat individuals that are sentient and kind like objects. If you're against slavery and other forms of injustice, if you wouldn't want it done to you, perhaps stop doing it to the most vulnerable and innocent individuals on our planet. Inside these concentration camp trucks, there are living, terrified, innocent beings. When these trucks arrive, these individuals, these sweet little angels, they're so frightened. I've seen them. They don't get off the trucks. They're not stupid. They know what's next. So you're buying animal products to pay someone to get on these trucks for you with electric prods and taser them, force them down the chutes to march down to their own death. Or if they're small enough to manhandle like chickens, we'll just grab them off the trucks and throw them inside. Once inside, these conscious, sentient, feeling individuals are hanged upside down, fully conscious. In other words, your victims go in alive against their will, and they come out chopped up into hundreds of pieces. You know what's more insane than that? It's got to be meat eaters walking around like their lifestyle isn't causing any harm. It makes no sense. Like it's normal, natural to be consuming violence and death. How do you feel if the day that you were born, somebody had already planned the day of your execution? That's what it's like to be a cow, a pig, chicken, anyone who isn't part of our species on this planet. With all due respect, I think this type of behavior is absolutely inexcusable. It's unbecoming of a species that claims to understand the difference between right from wrong. Your victims have not done one single thing wrong to us to deserve the wrath and the cruelty that we hurl onto them. And I hope you all understand what I'm offering you here today. You can ask me anything. Are you aware that after this protest, when you leave, you can directly participate in ending a massacre instead of sitting around and paying lip service to all the problems and all the massacres that are always taking place on this planet? It is so frustrating to me when I travel this country doing 250 lectures a year to some 7,500 university students.
Where's the dollar store right here with that?
Just need to check on something. Sometimes people are so ridiculous, they call the police, and I thought that guy was on the phone for some reason, wasting my time. People always want to tell me, never show me, just tell me how peaceful they are because of what they believe in or what makes them sad. Like, hey, I believe in God and angels and I pray all the time. Those earthquakes in Chile and Haiti, oh, they were so sad. All the abuse that happens to animals, oh, it's so sad. No shit, it's sad. Since when does feeling sad about an obvious tragedy make somebody a good person or make the world a better place? Now look, folks, I don't mean to dog you out, talk down to you like this. I'm just not a politician. I'm not a bullshit artist. I don't know how to schmooze people, as you can tell. It's kind of beyond me. I hope you appreciate my honesty and my genuineness today. I'm not a salesperson. I got no collection plate going around, no DVDs. I don't want your email address, your money, your mailing address. Keep all that stuff. I'm here to talk about the worst form of cruelty and violence taking place on this planet. The most evil thing that any one of us is capable of doing. The most destructive force on this planet. That's animal agriculture. But when you sit back in the comfort of your own living room claiming to be against rape, slavery, and murder, and animal abuse, yet paying someone to do it for you. It's pure, unadulterated lip service. It's hypocrisy, a double standard. It's the very definition of lip service, saying one thing and doing another. But veganism, now this is your chance to show others how truly peaceful you are. It's your chance for a personal revolution, to leave your mark on this planet by causing the least amount of harm practical. Now tell me, what is the argument for not causing the least amount of harm? Apathy? Selfishness? Inconvenience? Indifference? I want you to know I don't live in fantasy land. I'm well aware that individuals from other species are suffering and dying just because we exist on this planet with them. We build homes to their habitats, pollute their environments, and destroy their habitats. Is there any reason we need to be eating them on top of it all? Talk about pouring salt into somebody else's wound. 98%, and I repeat that stat, 98% of all the victims of abuse and injustice and murder and slavery are abused and killed in the fishing, meat, dairy, and egg industries. Animal agriculture is where all the harm is taking place. And in our country, from birth until death, each non-vegan consumes 3,000 land animals. That's a Department of Agriculture stat, and tens of thousands of marine animals. We seem to all believe this is normal and natural because we've been told we're supposed to be doing this. Are you aware that physiologically the human body is 100% herbivorous? I'll repeat that. You are an herbivore. I'm sure it never crossed your mind, but you are a plant eater. We evolved from monkeys. Our brains run on sugar, not fat and protein. We get sick and die from eating raw meat. Or if we cook it, we slowly get sick and die from it. That's why literally the most measured human being and literally the healthiest human being on the planet is vegan. It's Brian Johnson. Reduces biological speed of aging to half a chronological year. So the guy only ages 6 months every 12 months. Human beings are herbivores. Here's another one you probably never came across. It is impossible for any omnivore or carnivore to clog their arteries. Never happens to a real meat eater. Only herbivores can get heart attacks. Look this up. I know Google, Alexa, Siri, AI exists. I know if I'd be lying right now, you could prove me wrong, but I'm not. It is literally impossible to clog the arteries of a meat eater. Never happens. Only herbivores get clogged arteries and die from eating meat. Should be a little tip. Should be a really big tip, actually. It should be all over the news, really. But, you know. Our eyes see in full color. Again, only us herbivores see in full color. No omnivore or carnivore. You heard it a million times. Your cat and dog at home, they're colorblind. Horses are colorblind. It's because we are herbivores. We see in full color so we can tell when fruit is ripe and ready to eat. What happens to, let's say, an apple or an avocado when it gets old? It gets ripe, and we eat them. What happens to individuals like fish, chickens, cows, and turkeys when they get old? They get old because they're just like us. Plants are not sentient. They don't have a brain, a central nervous system, or pain receptors. Animals, they are conscious. They have personhood, reasoning. They know exactly what we're doing to them the whole time. And it's ludicrous, honestly. It's said if the world would go vegan if slaughterhouses had glass walls. So I really encourage you to watch Dominion.com or just look into this stuff. Dairy is scary. Very, very easy. But we are herbivores. They are all individuals. They're all conscious. Another point, we have allomaze in our saliva. Only us herbivores have that. Our teeth are short, broad, flat, and blunt. Yeah, we got canines. So is almost every other herbivore. Look at our cousins like bonobos, chimpanzees, and gorillas. We're all apes. We're all hairless, tailless apes. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it was only as recent as the 80s that textbooks and encyclopedias started referring to the hand of a gorilla as a hand, because our parents grew up in a time when they were referred to as a paw. So we play these euphemisms and we lie to ourselves. We're herbivores. You can look at, the largest cohort of nutrition and dietetics. Over 100,000 credentialized practitioners that studied a lifetime on this. The nutrition of dietetics. They claim that we are herbivores. We thrive on a vegan diet. Harvard states that you're younger by 10 years and live 10 years longer when you're vegan. I'm literally in my 40s and I have like cute 20-year-olds coming up and hitting on me. It's fucking insane. My brother's literally dying because he wants to eat meat and he's literally on his deathbed. He is literally a walking dead man. He can't even walk. He's literally dead. He's pretty much dead. It's just bananas to me how people just don't get it. And I get it. You got your blinders on. But if you give me an open mind today, and that's all I ask for, I'm going to take your blinders right off, pull you out of the matrix. Seriously. It sounds silly, like a snake oil salesman or something, but I really hope you just appreciate my honesty, my genuineness today. A few more points are we have very long intestinal tracts, they're pupillated, we need fiber, only found in plants. I don't know. Our jaws go side to side, they're not embedded into the skull like omnivores and carnivores. Our mouth and throat opening relative to head size is very small, unlike the large mouths and throats of meat eaters. That's why 98% of all choking fatalities occur when a human being tries to eat meat. Yeah. Harvard Nut Study, Oxford Vegan Vegetarian Meat Eater Study, Seventh-day Adventist Study 1 and 2. Want to look into some of this stuff, man. If somebody out there really thinks that we're omnivores or carnivores or meat eaters, I got 2 awesome challenges for you to prove me wrong afterwards. Please do so if you wish. I want you to locate a squirrel, put that carnivore speed into effect that apparently human beings can run 60 kilometers an hour like a real carnivore. Catch the squirrel, be my guest, eat the squirrel. No weapons, tools, or cages. You don't get to be a cheater and a fake meat eater in this challenge. You don't get to season them or cook them or pick which body parts you want to eat. Eyes, nose, face, tail, toes, anus, inner organs, blood, fur. Don't forget about the brains. We're all real meat eaters. We would have no problemo eating seagulls and raccoons and squirrels. If I'd crush this pigeon right now and just gobble them up, you guys wouldn't think it's insane at all because we're all meat eaters, right? Nope. Not even close. Those are not vegans dying in the hospitals. Vegans are the healthiest group of human beings with the lowest rates of all-cause mortality. Literally avoid the top 15 killers of death. Again, that's Harvard. I think they know a thing or two about science. I don't know. Challenge number 2. Take a 2-year-old child, place him in the crib with a bunny rabbit and an apple. If the child kills and eats the bunny rabbit and plays with the apple instead, let me know, will ya? I might be convinced that we're lions and Tyrannosaurus Rex, but we're not. These things cannot and will not be happening because humans also possess 0 carnivorous instincts, 0 omnivorous instincts. When we're born young and growing up, we're all born vegan. We just acquire a taste for meat, cheese, milk, eggs, and honey after they're forced down our throats throughout childhood. Now, all I'm asking you to do is something normal and natural and safe anyways. Every vitamin, mineral, nutrient, potassium, iron, all the B vitamins, they have an original source and it ain't the animals. You are aware that we eat the animals after they've eaten from the grass and some of the soil and we ship them to a feedlot, feed them most of our corn, wheat, oats, and soy. Nobody synthesizes protein. We get it all from plants, and if you get enough calories, you get enough protein. Stop filtering your nutrients to somebody else's body. It's illogical, it's irrational. Just go to those sources directly. You can have the processed stuff if you want, or you can just eat clean. There's 60,000 delicious plant species and fungi, mushrooms, fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts, berries, legumes, herbs, and spices. This is the stuff you love to put on your meat because it tastes so damn good. No one's gonna boil a steak and eat that, right? Now with some ketchup or something, barbecue sauce, like come on, man. That's all vegan, it's delicious, it's affordable, it's easy, it's convenient. We're in a world-class city in 2025, and I'm still begging people to stop murdering innocent beings for nothing. Just a habit, tradition, convenience, and taste. Now sometimes people pull up a study really quick, and I'd love to see it. It's usually just advertisement from the meat and dairy industry. And they go, hey man, I got a study here that contradicts everything you told us here today. What's up with that? Well, I'll tell you what's up with that. You don't need a medical study to show me what people are dying of, but for every medical study you can produce showing that human beings need meat, cheese, milk, eggs, and honey, I'll produce 2 showing that meat, cheese, milk, eggs, and honey is literally the #1 killer. Most of us here are literally going to die because we think that animals are food. It's absolutely true. It's heart disease. And again, no cat, bear, lion, tiger, no meat eater has ever died of a heart attack. You can't do it. It can't be done. They are all individuals. They're all conscious. They all value the one life they have. We human beings are herbivores. We get sick and we die when we eat non-human individuals. But I know medical studies can be manipulated either way, so I say toss them all out. You don't even need them. If you want to play that game, I'll play and I'll win. But all you need to do is pay attention, look around, and see what's going on in this meat, cheese, milk, egg eating society. So how many of your friends or family members have died from eating it, or are starting to die from a disease already? Because I can't be the only one affected by this. My grandfather died of a heart attack. Grandma died of a stroke. Uncle Jack died of a heart attack. Last October, got a call around midnight on October the 15th that my father had just passed away from a heart attack. Big meat eater, big meat guy. Loves a good steak, right? Dead. In the fucking ground, dead. Forever. Never coming back because he made a huge mistake. His ego got to him. He thought he knows everything. But we don't. So it's good to explore these things. Humans are herbivores. Yup. We are herbivores. We are plant eaters. We die when we eat meat. So what's the one thing that we all have in common with each other besides the air we breathe and the water we drink? Animal products all day long. Meat, cheese, milk, and eggs. Now I know you can blame some of the cancers on environmental pollution. But how are you going to blame heart attacks and stroke, obesity, osteoporosis on environmental pollution? Look, I'm going to break it down for you really quick here. I'll show you what's killing you, and I'll show you what people are dying of. I'll show you who's lying to you too, flat out bald-faced lies. Let's come to an agreement on the dairy industry, shall we? Let me know if I'm being unfair about this. If I'm wrong, I want to know. According to the dairy industry itself, the main reason they exist so we can get calcium. Fair? Is that not their entire claim? Strong bone, strong body, meat does the body good, got milk. Check it out with the Department of Agriculture. Aside from India, we consume the most amount of dairy on the planet right here. We can't even get a sandwich anymore without cheese. We put it inside every nook and every cranny. We put it inside the pizza crust now too. Can't even get a salad anymore without cheese. And if you are lucky enough to find one, what's the first thing that we say to our server? Hey, can I get some ranch, some Thousand Island? Can you pour some dairy on these vegetables for me? So in this society where everybody is hooked on cheese, and I mean hooked, like it's been laced with weed, crack, ecstasy, morphine, and the antidote, most people cannot fathom one meal, let alone one day or a lifetime without cheese. Even lactose intolerant people eat cheese. I don't care what anybody says about this. Yeah, they may avoid straight up cow's milk, but slap a double cheese pepperoni pizza in front of a lactose intolerant person, no hesitation, right down the hatch. So we got all these animal products and cheese and milk in our diets. Why do we even have osteoporosis at all? How come there's Actonel, Boniva, and Citracal calcium commercials for us? How come at Walmart, Superstore, and Costco, You see an entire shelf devoted to calcium supplements in a nutrition section? I thought we were getting everything we need from the animal products. Newsflash, you do not. It's because we are herbivores. When you take in animal protein, it makes your blood acidic. Your bones are comprised of two things, calcium and phosphate. And your blood cannot stay acidic for long or else you die. So you take in some animal protein, makes your blood acidic. Your body leaches phosphate out of the bones to neutralize the acidity, and then you pee out the calcium. So as a vegan, I have stronger bones statistically than most people here. Anyways, it's not about your health though. That'd be selfish. I'm trying to get people to be unselfish for a change, to be altruistic, to do something kind for somebody else, and in doing so, expect nothing in return. You have a choice when you leave. You could hear my words.
I should ask him today that
Every animal is an individual that is perfectly sentient and capable of feeling and thinking, just like us. And human beings are herbivores. So if you're an herbivore, which you are, eating animal products, which you are, really, really, with all due respect, you're an animal abuser. It's just as sick for someone to pay for a dog fight or, to abuse an animal for fun or something like that. So again, please watch themean.com. Listen to Yourofsky's the best speech you'll ever hear. Wake up, smell the coffee, have a sativa because that stuff's all good and vegan. And I hope you choose to keep the knife out of their throat, to be rational, responsible, and decent. Or to choose to keep the status quo as is. Make sure non-human individuals never experience one drop of human kindness or freedom, have their horns cut off, their beaks sliced off, and their testicles ripped out at birth without anesthetic. You could keep paying someone to separate their families, keep paying someone to stick a knife in their throat for literally every second of every day for all eternity. I really hope you make the right choice. Now I want to wrap this up because it honestly kind of stresses me out sometimes about saying something about the dairy industry, because we talked about the unhealthiness and the pus. And by the way, there is pus in the cow's milk. Our government allows one eyedropper full of pus for every glass of cow's milk to drink up, because when you hook up machines to the udders of cows day after day to suck them dry 3 times a day, 40 liters, almost a bathtub full of milk, those machines produce massive amounts of infection on the inside and outside of the udders. Now the machines, they don't know what not to suck out. Blood, pus, mucus, and infection all goes down with cow's milk. Now, yes, I know cow's milk is pasteurized, but since when did that become a removal process? You're only sanitizing pus. It's very icky. Anyone know what an egg is from a hen? Don't say embryo or aborted fetus. It's unfertilized, so it can't be either. Hen is a female, though. Unfertilized egg through a female system. It's part of her menstruation cycle. People scramble up hen periods in the morning. And I'm weird because I eat berries and tofu. What about vomit? You guys love vomit. You adore vomit all over your food. Better give this one a pretty name, though. Nobody's going to buy and eat vomit unless we call it honey instead. Check it out with any wildlife biologist. Honey comes directly from the stomach of a bee. It's regurgitated right through a bee's mouth. But nobody wants bee vomit nut Cheerios. We want honey nut Cheerios instead. So we play euphemism games and lie to ourselves. We call it leather instead of skin, and bacon instead of flesh, and slaughter and processing instead of murder and killing. But the standard diet of a meat eater, of a non-vegan, is blood, flesh, veins, muscles, tendons, cow secretions, pus, bee vomit, and hen periods. I'm not done yet while I got y'all here today. You know how we top this all off, in my opinion, every October and December? People take a dead turkey, carve out a really big hole in their bum-bum, take some stuffing, shove it inside their bum-bum, and use their dead, empty, bacteria-laden ass as a little oven to make some bread. Ass bread. People think vegans are weird. because they eat plants or some beans that have some smoke and they taste like meat. You may have had a pretty good excuse before I got here of being uninformed, misinformed before I got here. That's fine. I understand. But I really don't understand what's keeping you from living in reality. Human beings are herbivores. We are a plant-based species. We evolved from monkeys. We can talk about this, or you can look it up on your own time. You are a monkey, you're a plant eater, and that's just fine. Meat kills us. Eggs, honey, milk, it all kills us. You've been duped. When I first started finding out about this stuff around 20 years ago, I used to think it wasn't that bad. Everyone's exaggerating. They're just being sensitive. But unlike everyone else, I went to see what's going on. I spent 6 weeks at Thornapple Valley Pig Slaughterhouse in Detroit. I went behind the scenes of every circus, of every rodeo that ever came through town. Vivisection laboratories. I've heard the worst screams firsthand. And I'll tell you, the worst screams I've ever heard are a mother cow as her baby is stolen from her. She bellows and pines and cries for days for her stolen baby to be given back to her, which I imagine is the same scream every woman here would make if somebody held you down after birth and stole your newborn baby from you for your milk. Because cows do not produce milk because they are cows. They are not machines. They're not property. They're not inanimate, stupid, non-thinking objects you cannot think and feel. That Descartes Cartesian way of thinking. And by the way, they produce it because they are mothers. So they are raped. Their babies are killed on the first day of life, sledgehammer to the face. You can see it at Richmond Country Farms there. And that's pretty much it, man. We suffocate the chickens that don't lay eggs. So it's just... That Descartes Cartesian way of looking at non-human individuals like they're machines, it is outdated and quite frankly, 100% insane. We all understand animals use their eyes to see, ears to hear, legs to walk, mouths to eat, feathers to fly, fins to swim, genitalia to procreate, and bowels to defecate. I'm always perplexed why most people don't understand they can use their brains to think, that they can feel, that it's not just an empty void inside of their skull, that their brains actually work just like every other body part. That's because we're all wearing blinders. We can't see reality. We're just so conditioned. You're an herbivore. They are all conscious. And with all due respect, in my own words, a non-vegan has the ethics of a child molesting pedophile taking advantage of the most vulnerable and innocent individuals on the planet with no regards for their rights violations, for nothing more than sensory pleasure. You know what I'm talking about, like a sandwich you had 5 days ago. You don't even remember that lunch. That's somebody's entire life. They went through hell for that sandwich. So I'm genuinely, cordially begging you to just look into it. You are an herbivore. We are plant eaters. Our brains run on sugar. Only herbivores get heart attacks. The world's healthiest and most measured human being, Brian Johnson, reduces biological speed of aging by half. So you got literally the healthiest human beings in blue zones that are vegan. It's madness. It's all about the cows, and if you want to include some kind of milk in your diet, like I do, I totally understand. There are hundreds of vegans' milks, ice creams, and cheeses. Macadamia nut milk, cashew milk, soy milk, rice milk, hemp milk. I'm sure you will enjoy one of the vegan milks, ice creams, and yogurts and cheeses. If anyone has any questions, feel free to shoot. I want to thank you all for listening, even if it's just your subconscious mind. I really genuinely believe in you. I was the biggest meat eater of all time. So all I ever ate was meat. I remember sneaking it out of the fridge. I remember, eating more than my fair share, going for seconds, thirds, and fourths. I love meat. This is not a taste issue. This is an ethics, morality, and decency issue. We are herbivores. We don't need anything from anybody else's body. Really want to thank you guys. Great crowd. Awesome. 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 Good. Perfect. That's it. That's all it takes. And to me, this is way too little. I always tell vegans, you're not vegan for the animals until you do more than just say that and actually commit to at least 10 minutes a day of being an activist, which is literally anyone who simply talks about animals or helps them in any way, shape, or form. If you're working at a sanctuary, you're an activist. But starting December 18th on my birthday, I will be doing this every single day, all day, until I lose my mind, get arrested, run out of breath. I don't care. That's my goal. So wait until December 18th. Things are going to get very minty. There's going to be mints, moments, memes. And this is going to be one of the best channels with me, hopefully going fully transparent. That means recording the life around me 24/7 every day for at least a year. And then maybe I'll take a vacation, maybe I'll stop, maybe I'll figure something else out. But that's always been my goal, and I keep getting sidetracked. So why December 18th? Well, that's just how my paychecks work out. So I'll know, like right now, I, again, didn't eat and blah, blah, blah. And I need to get my shit sorted out. But yeah, so thanks for viewing. Please do what you can. And I hope you have lots of animals in your life. They're the best thing on this planet.